Hi everyone, and welcome back to the IT Hub. In today's lesson, we're going to continue looking at the spreadsheet section of the Food and Rum Festival, and we are going to move to a new sheet, and that new sheet is called the Accounts sheet. So I already have created this sheet called Accounts. To do that, I simply clicked on the plus sign, which is to create a new sheet or add a new sheet, and I would have right-clicked on the name of the sheet, rename, or double-click, type in the new name. So here we have the accounts sheet. As usual, we're going to copy the data from previous sheet, that is the student's information. And I'm going to copy it from here. I'm going to bring this over a little. All right, just to make sure that everybody, at least all the pages, look pretty much the same. I'm going to just left align all of it to just keep it looking nice and neat. I'm going to copy it now and paste it on the third sheet. All right, so just adjust the column to fit. All right, so we're told to, on the accounts sheet, worksheet, create a worksheet called accounts and create a table called income statistics. So I'm going to go ahead and call the table income statistics. And we're going to create three labels in the first column. First one is called total gate receipts. Next one is total sponsorship. Let me just fix this quickly. And the last one is total, let me see that. So you have total gate receipts, total sponsorship, and total income. Okay, total income. All right, so I'm going to adjust this column width, and I'm going to merge these two cells. And then now, you're told to link the values for the total gate receipts and total sponsorship from the location and sponsorship worksheets. What that means is we're going to simply use the cell reference that has the total gate receipts and total sponsorship from their respective sheets. We're not going to type them in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the equal sign in this cell, in cell B9. Then I'm going to go to the locations and projected attendance sheet, and I'm going to scroll down and look for total gate receipts, which is this figure here. I'm going to click on it, but before you move back to the accounts sheet, you must press the enter key, otherwise the cell reference will change on you. Do that again, showing you using the total sponsorship equal sign, but this time we're going to go to the sponsorship sheet and we're going to look for the figure that has the total sponsorship, which is this figure here. I'm going to click on it and press enter, right? Now, to get the total income, all we need to do is sum the two values and press enter there. I'm going to put a border around this table, and I'm going to format these figures to currency. So I highlight the figures and click on select currency in the number format group. Also going to bold this, and I'm going to fill it blue. I'm going to bold these three, change this font size to about 14, and then change. I think these can stay, so we leave those as they are. Next thing you're going to do is you are going to, in an appropriate cell, enter venue expenses rate, which is going to be 25%. So I'm going to go ahead and type venue expense rate, and in the next cell beside it, I'm going to type 25%. We're going to use this later on to do some calculations. Next thing it says you are to do, create a second table that has the headings gate receipts, location, and venue expenditure. All right, so let me create that table and come right back. Earlier, I told you to use 3 headings. That was an error. So the two headings that there should be are the locations and the venue expenses. Additionally, I have gone ahead and just put one main heading for this to say that these are the venue expenditures. All right. Now for the locations, we're going to take them. We're going to link them directly from the locations and predicted attendance sheet because you do get marks for linking cells. So I'm going to type equal in the cell, then I'm going to click on the first location and press enter. And all I'm going to do now is to autofill. There are 9 more venues. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Let me just finish the autofill. Trelawney was the last one, so that should be enough. Then the venue expenses now, we need to work out what the venue expenses are. So let us look at the calculation for the venue expenses from the list that we got. Venue expenditure is 25% of the gate receipt. So if you see venue expenditure and venue expenses is the same thing. So based on the calculations, we are told that it's 25% of the gate receipts for each parish. Now, we already have the rate here, which is the 25% we had earlier typed. So we're going to say equal 25%, right? And we are going to make this absolute because we want, when we autofill the formula, that this formula, this cell reference remains the same. So just as previously, we press F4 on our keyboards, you can do that. But remember, if you are using a laptop, you have to press the function key, which is in the lower left-hand side of your keyboard, and then you press the F4 key, which allows you to have a $ before the column name and a $ before the row number. Then I'm going to put in the asterisk, and I'm going to look for the gate receipts on the locations and predicted attendance. Scroll over, click on the gate receipts for the first one and press enter. You press enter, students, before you come off the locations and predicted attendance sheet, because if you don't, then again, the cell reference is going to change and your formula is going to work out incorrectly. And because all of these were put in the same order, I can autofill. And there we have it. We're going to set the format to currency. And here we have our venue expenditures. What we want to do is to put a total expenditure or expenses label. And we can go ahead and use the auto sum to sum that. Press enter. We're going to put borders around that as well. I'm going to fill here blue. Students, remember, you don't have to use mine. I just happen to use blue all the time. So that's just my thing. Okay. All right. So this is the venue expenditure and these are the expenses. Let's now go back down and see what the next task is for us to do. Now we're going to now create another table. It says enter the amounts for advertising expenditure and administration expenditure. And you're going to be looking at the formula for creating those. I'm going to do that and then we're going to come back to see what those look like. All right, so I have gone ahead and put in the table for administrative expenses, and I've also put in the label for those. I'm going to border that table. Now these figures, students, are fixed figures. They are not calculations. If you scroll up, you should see those fixed figures. See, advertising expenditure, 200,000, and administration expenditure, 150,000. So I'm just going to go ahead and type those in. And the next one is 150,000. Then we're just going to create another total expenditure or total expenses, whichever you prefer. Then we're just going to sum those two cells, press enter. We're going to also format these to currency. And as usual, I'm going to fill with blue to keep it consistent. And I'm going to also bold the heading. I'm going to bold these as well. And there we have it. Now, the only thing left for us to complete this sheet would be to calculate the surplus or deficit. And by surplus or deficit, I mean we want to calculate whether or not there was a loss or profit made. And to do this, what we need to do is we need to calculate the total overall expenditure, and we need to deduct that from the total income. So at the top here, we have our total income, right? And our total income is here. Our total expenses for that, at least this is one of the total expenses. And then if you notice, I'm highlighting them because we have two total expenses, right? So I've highlighted where those two expenses are as well as the total income. So what we will do at this point is create a formula that is going to calculate the surplus/deficit. And that formula would go like this: equal, we click on the income, and then we say minus, open bracket, click on the first expense. I'm going to put in a plus sign, and then click on the second expenses, total expenses rather, close the bracket and press enter. Right away, you can see that I have a surplus of $2.8+ million, right? If it was a negative figure, then it would have been a deficit. If yours says a deficit, student, do not mess around with it. It is a deficit. It just happens that the amount of sponsorship that you got was not enough to cover your expenditure. All right, so this is a surplus I have. I'm going to go ahead and fill it and bold it for it to stand out, and I'm going to also put a border around it. And there you have it, students. There you have your accounts sheet. I'm going to also bold this one and fill it with yellow. So there's your account sheet completed. Now, if you found the video useful, I'm going to ask you to like and share with your other classmates or your friends, whoever they are. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and also click the notification bell so that when I release more videos, you are going to be one of the first persons to be informed that there are new videos available.